Nigeria is hosting the 2026 technical group meeting of the G-24 at a time of fragile global recovery and persistent financial pressures on emerging markets. Despite easing global conditions, the group says high borrowing costs and external vulnerabilities continue to constrain growth. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, and Minister of Finance, Wale Edu, set the tone for discussions. Edu urges emerging economies to take the lead in reforming global financial architecture, while Cardoso calls for a coordinated G-24 strategy to address inefficiency in digital cross-border payments.
Digital cross-border payments can become a public good and help rebalance global finance and development if central banks shape the architecture rather than adapt to it. The task before us is clear: to shape the future of global finance rather than be shaped by it.
Nigeria is currently the chair of G-24, and this is a technical group meeting where major items of the agenda for this year are discussed. We are hoping over the next day or two that there will be robust discussion and there will be solutions and suggestions to improve the global financial architecture to allow developing countries to be able to fund development at the end of the day.
Recent data from United Nations Trade and Development shows developing countries paid nearly $487 billion in external debt servicing in 2023, exceeding foreign direct investment and aid inflows and limiting spending on infrastructure, climate, resilience, health, and education. Some of the delegates say the future of global finance must prioritize inclusion, stability, and sustainable development.
We need to create an ad hoc mechanism to manage the current debt crisis, which could be the expansion of the common framework for debt treatments, but it has to be significantly improved because it has been very hard to use only by a few African countries. And the mechanism has to include middle-income countries.
The task for every country is twofold: creating the conditions for investment, and second, to be able to undertake improvements in domestic resource mobilization. As he pointed out, those are the two pillars of national action.
We agree with the findings in the BWI at 80 report that this requires the IMF and the World Bank to redouble their efforts to support countries to weather the challenges we confront.
There's a lot of engagement going on even outside this forum, and in the coming years, we should see some progress on cost of capital, declining cost of capital, lower interest rates for developing countries, and that is going to be mainly from some of the push that is coming on within the World Bank.
With global debt pressures rising and trade fragmentation threatening growth prospect, emerging economies continue to face a narrowing path to development. Well, perhaps the acid test for Nigeria now is how policymakers can match words with actions in a volatile global environment for growth. From the nation's capital, Abuja, Frank Omalape, Arise News.